Welcome to a new edition of our show titled Speak of Africa. Brothers and sisters, we thank you for the support you've been giving us on this show. More and more people are watching, but we're asking you to keep subscribing and sharing the show with your friends. There is so much we want to share with you today. So much has really happened. How is the African nation doing? A whole lot of stuff is going on. In fact, we want to start today close to home. As they say, charity begins at home. Today, we want to begin the show by talking about the U.S. government shutdown. This shutdown now is over 31 days old, and so many federal workers have been furloughed. The people who are really affected by this shutdown are not only the federal workers. We have their families, friends, and relatives. So we really feel a lot of sympathy for these people who are not being paid for almost a month now. So we really feel sorry for them, and we're asking people who can support them to really help. In fact, when we look at this shutdown, most people probably don't really understand what it means. The shutdown basically is the new way that the U.S. government tries to operate. Whenever the Congress and the U.S. president cannot sign into law a bill for appropriation and a budget, then the government has to shut down. They have to close a lot of functions, a lot of the agencies that operate within the infrastructure of the U.S. federal government. This has happened many times. In fact, now the shutdowns are actually called the Trump shutdown because in 2018 alone, the United States government has had 3 shutdowns. They had one in January, one in February, and the third now in December, which has crossed over into the new year 2019. And of course, it seems as if there's no end in sight. The two parties are really fighting. It looks like President Trump is a tough guy on one end, then you have the Democrats who are controlling the House on the other end. But as I say, whenever two elephants are fighting, it is the grass that suffers. The grass is the little people who work every day to make a living. They have families to feed. So we really feel sorry for most of these people. So to show our concern for most of these taxpayers, we have come up with survival strategies for this shutdown. We want to really share with you how, if you know somebody who is being affected by this shutdown, you want to share this information that we have with them. We have done some research and we've compiled a list of resources that people can use. In fact, we are also in the finance business. Our primary business is income tax preparation and accounting. Now is the tax season. So one of the ways we're going to help the people who are suffering from this shutdown is to work with banks to give them some form of cash advance. When they file their taxes, instead of waiting for 3 weeks or 1 month to get their refund, we want them to get this money almost immediately. As they file the taxes in the morning, in the evening, we want them to be able to get a check from one of the banks that we've negotiated with. With this, our company, PJ Tax Service, is going to make it possible for most taxpayers to get some form of money to pay, say, their rents, or their tuition, or their mortgages, because this affects a whole lot of people, not only government workers. So PJ Tax Service has come up with this program to make it possible so that your average taxpayer can have the resources they need to sustain their daily lives. So as we say, charity begins at home. We are doing our own little bit to help you sustain this moment of crisis. Okay? So if you can call our phone number, our office emergency line is 240-350-1131, or you can go to the website of pjtaxservice.com, pjtaxservice.com. You'll get all the information you need to be able to take advantage of this shutdown. In fact, we're enlisting the help of all taxpayers across the U.S. If you know someone who needs to file their taxes and get money quickly, refer them to us, and we're going to pay you for this service because we really want to reach people across America with our tax and accounting services, especially people who really need money fast. If you know anybody who needs money fast to pay their rents, you want to refer them to pjtaxservice.com. What do you get in return? Well, it's a sweet deal. For everybody that you refer to us, we're going to give you a commission. Okay? We're going to give you a commission and you choose the form of your commission. So if you need more details, you want to call us or you want to go to our website, pjtaxservice.com. So in addition to this shutdown, you can really see that it is really affecting a whole lot of people. What are the other resources that can help people? A lot of banks like Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, SunTrust have developed programs to assist taxpayers. So when you come to our channel, we're going to have information in our descriptive section, which will give you all these details, how you can help yourself with information from banks. And of course, credit unions are also doing their best. Congressional Credit Union, Democracy, Navy Credit Union, these entities are also helping taxpayers to sustain themselves during these tough times. Okay? So don't forget, come to our page on our YouTube channel and we'll have specific information that you can use to reach these financial organizations. Then we'll also have theaters. Now is hard times for a lot of people, but some of the theaters are offering discounted tickets or free tickets for citizens who want to really relax during these tough times. Then there are also resources dealing with utilities. Sometimes during these tough times, you need to be able to have your power on. You don't want your internet to be cut off. So most of these utility companies are ready to work with you. You may not know this. WSSC for water, Pepco for electricity, then BGE. All these companies are ready to work with you so that you can really resolve your problems. You don't want your utilities to be cut. If your utilities are cut, that would mean more and more problems. You cannot just be living in darkness. Okay? So come to our channel. You'll get the information that you need to access most of these resources. So that's it with the shutdown. We feel sorry for everybody who's going through this, and we hope our politicians will come to their senses. So far, Mr. Trump has called it his shutdown. He owns it. Just like we used to say, President Barack Obama owned Obamacare. Now, Trump owns the shutdown. So that's as much as we want to tell you about the shutdown. So don't forget, call the offices of PJ Tax Service to do your taxes. Now is tax time and we want to help so many people so that they can get their money quickly.
$250 to $6,000. Quick tax refund advance made easy. It's tax season 2019. The Christmas and New Year holidays are over. Everybody's talking about the PJ Tax Service, the new kid in town on H&R Block's block. Why? Money, money, money. Spread the good news. Quick tax refund advance is here. It's big, bigger than ever. Put big money in your pocket fast. PJ Tax Service. Nobody gets your tax money back faster. Instantly, quickly, and immediately. 3 tax refund disbursement choices for you in less than 24 hours. Visa e-card, paper check, and direct deposit. Get your money back without delays. PJ Tax Service has your back. It is your money, so get it now. PJ Tax Service. You like the way we do your taxes. PJ Tax Service. You feel like a lottery or a sweepstake winner. Act now. Call 301-593-4879 or 301-593-4897. Or come to our office, 11207A, Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20901. Or you can visit us online, www.pjtaxservice.com.
Next, we're going to move now to the motherland. But before we get to the motherland, we want to land in Western Europe. We want to land in Italy and France. Why? Because these two colonial powers have much to do with the fate of African migrants. Okay? In our show, we've spent some time talking about the crisis of migration. A lot of young people leave African countries and they travel north of Africa and they find themselves stranded in the Mediterranean Sea. This has been happening for so long. Some are held in slavery in Libya and some succeed in crossing, but they capsize and die at sea. So this crisis has been going on for so long. This week, we were really laughing when we saw the fight between Italy and France over the migrant crisis. And France was blaming Italy for the maltreatment of Africans who were rescued ashore. But Italy retorted by saying, especially the Italian deputy PM, he said, well, France is really responsible for the suffering of Africans. Now, he took us now to the neo-colonial and the colonial period. France has created this problem for most of the African countries. When you look at France, France looks like it is probably the third largest economy in Europe. If it were not for Africa, probably France would be occupying number 17th position in Europe. But because France is a parasitic nation, they exploit all the resources of Africa. Starting from the colonial period, we've been telling you this on this show, and the Italian deputy PM just confirmed what we've been telling you all along. France is a leech. They get everything from Africa, and Africans are poor. The Yellow Vest movement that has been going on now in France, so many people are killed, they are losing their eyes and limbs. It is because they are really disenfranchised by this politics of rich versus poor. In France, it's difficult to get a good job even when you have professional qualifications. The rich make all the money, the corporations have all the money, then the average Africans who are even citizens cannot really benefit from France. So this is really a shame. Of all the African resources that are taken from the motherland and brought to France, the Africans cannot even enjoy these services when they get to France. So it's really a shame. And the crisis that is going on now has really brought to light this calamity that is really happening. And in fact, the Yellow Vest movement has come to really open the eyes of people so that they can see the dangers of what happens when you have a colonial power that is hell-bent on making money for the rich while the people stay poor. So we think this is not really a good sign.
Life insurance money secrets of millionaires and billionaires exposed. Discover how America's rich and famous exploit these arcane tools to build fabulous wealth. Why should these big white guys have all the fun? Let Prince Ojong, the celebrity author of The Miraculous Millionaire, show you the little understood life insurance way to riches. Are you still doubting the good things that life insurance can do for you? Trust strategies, estate planning, 401k rollover, annuity contract, cash value, education funding, executive benefits, income protection, life protection, living benefits, mortgage protection, tax-free retirement? Think and grow rich with life insurance. Your amazing journey to wealth begins by calling Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131.
Next, we're going to move now to Nigeria. February 16 is the day Nigerians will be going to the polls to vote for a new president. We've talked about this on this show. Last week, we even told you that the candidates were playing games. They did not really want to debate. And the whole debate drama has really drawn on to even this week. We were told that when Mr. Atiku Abubakar got to the side of the debate, he did not see President Buhari. So he decided to return home. Then there was no debate because he could not really debate when the incumbent is not really there. Debates are just like heavyweight boxing matches. If the title holder is not in the ring, then the defendant will not even want to come to the ring because it's a waste of time. So we're telling you that Buhari and Atiku are just playing game. They don't really want to debate each other because they are running away from the issues. But what really happened again this week is President Obasanjo continued criticizing President Buhari. We said it before that we had received information that it looks like this election is going to be rigged. And former President Obasanjo was just concurring what we said a few weeks ago. He's saying that he has already seen signs that President Buhari is going to rig this election because he is really desperate to win a second term, even though he doesn't really deserve it. He spent a lot of time criticizing President Buhari, He said Buhari doesn't have the sound mind. He's a sick person who cannot really run Nigeria. He doesn't have anything more to offer Nigerians. In fact, it looks like the message of President Obasanjo really comes from some of the minor candidates like Sowore, because much of what Obasanjo was saying is what Sowore has been saying to the people, that Buhari doesn't have more to offer Nigerians. There's not much that he can offer Nigerians anymore. So he needs to go home and rest. Next, we also were disheartened when we saw pictures of insecurity in Nigeria again. A guy called Victor was kidnapped and killed. Even though his family was ready to offer payment, ransom for his life, things happened in a funny way that the guy was killed by his captors. So it was really sad when we watched the images of this family mourning, weeping, crying. It was really heartbreaking. So you can see that it's not just Boko Haram. Insecurity is really rife in Nigeria. There's so much insecurity, and it looks like the Buhari leadership is ineffective and incompetent in dealing with this crisis. So security was the hallmark, the strength of Mr. Buhari. But so far, it looks like we'll give him 2/20 because he has failed. He has failed woefully. He cannot really handle the security crisis in Nigeria. In fact, things are really getting worse. We hope the young people can think about it and vote this person out of power because he's ineffective, as President Obasanjo says. Next, we're going to move now to Cameroon. Cameroon is an interesting case. When we woke up this morning, we saw pictures of Kenyans making fun of President Paul Biya. President Paul Biya waited for over a week before he sent a letter of condolence to President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya. Al-Shabaab had attacked Kenya again, and a lot of people were killed. Kenyans were able to handle this issue swiftly. In fact, the security services were able to contain more bloodshed, and they were ready now to move on to other things. So they were really disheartened when, over a week later, President Paul Biya of Cameroon sent them a letter of condolence. So what has this individual been doing? Why does he have to wait for over a week before he sends a letter of condolence? It's because they do not know that this individual is really what we call Rip Van Winkle. In Revolutionary America, there was a character in a short story by Washington Irving called Rip Van Winkle. Rip Van Winkle left his village with his dog. Then he fell asleep for over 20 years. When he returned to his village, everything had changed. He woke up from sleep 20 years later, everything has changed, and the kids have grown. They do not even know him. So he was like, oh, what has been happening? So it's like the same thing to Paul Biya. This guy is really asleep. Similarly, in his country, war has been going on now for over 2 years, but the guy is sleeping. He doesn't even know what is happening. So we think he should really wake up and try to come up with some meaningful dialogue to solve the problem in the Cameroons. But he's sleeping. When we look at this individual and his pattern of sleep, we think about a jingle we used to hear when we were kids. Frère Jacques, dormez-vous? Sonnez le matin, ding dong ding, ding dong ding. So this individual is just like Frère Jacques, who is always sleeping. He's always sleeping, he's not awake. So he doesn't know what is happening around him. Okay? So we just think he needs to wake up and see what is happening. The fire is burning everywhere in his country. He needs to listen to messages of dialogue. Okay? So this is what we're asking this individual to do. Instead of acting like a pariah or a persona non grata, he needs to be presidential so that he can solve the problem that the people are facing. But so far, it looks like he enjoys his sleep and he just wants to keep sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. So we have a lot of images of Frère Jacques to show you. So this individual is just sleeping. So we either will call him Frère Jacques or we'll call him Rip Van Winkle. Okay? So now we're going to move to Nigeria again. The Federal Court of Abuja is overhearing the case of the guys who were seized from Nigeria and taken to Cameroon. So we want you to know this. So this case is going on now, and we think justice must really follow its course. If justice follows its course, that will really be a great thing. Then we're going to move again now to South Africa. On a lighter note, when we woke up this morning, we saw stories about Jacob Zuma, the former president of South Africa. On this show, we have chronicled what brought Jacob Zuma down. So much corruption. He had allowed some Indian brothers to hijack the nation of South Africa. These Gupta brothers were really running the affairs of the country, and they were taking over the whole country, just like a plane that has been hijacked. Because of this corruption and scandals, Jacob Zuma was forced to resign as president, and Cyril Ramaphosa took over as the new leader of South Africa. But it looks like Jacob Zuma wants to put himself again in the news. This time he has become a singer. He wants to record songs of liberation, which remind people of the apartheid days. Is this a form of escapism or what? We don't know. But I think it's really comical that this individual has become a singer. We hope he can even make some money and try to pay back some of the debts he owes South Africa, because that's what this individual needs to do. He needs to do this so that he can pay the debts that he owes South Africa, and this will be a good thing, so that people will be singing songs of liberation, and those songs will have more meaning. But right now, everybody looks at Jacob Zuma as a clown. It's really a clown because he has really shown that Africans are shithole people. They cannot really govern themselves. So he's really the laughingstock of the Western world. So we have come to the end of our show of today, but we want to remind you, we want you to support this show. This show is your show. Subscribe. We want people to know about the show. Tell us what you like about the show. We can make improvements to accommodate your interests. So that's why we're really running this show. It is easy to subscribe. We will tell you, subscribe and share the show with your friends. Then tell us what you want. 240-350-1131. We welcome you to make all these changes and suggestions. We like change. Change is what can really bring a better Africa. Okay? Thank you very much, and we thank you again for watching our show. Bye-bye.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.